Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, I'm Obi, that's Ed, and we are drinking from the Garden Hose, your favorite podcast about nothing. Get us wherever you can get your podcasts, be it Apple, Spotify, Google, and even the smaller ones. We're there for you. Download, listen, like, subscribe. Check out our website, gardenhose.vercel, that's VERCEL.com. We're there. We have a community. It's thriving. We want you to be part of it. Ed, how are you?
Obi, I am good. Fresh back from vacation. Couldn't be better. But I do have a couple of observations from vacation. And the first thing I said today, I told my daughter I was doing the podcast today. What should I talk about? What should I complain about tonight? And she says, "How about you try not complaining and you just talk?" I said, "I don't think people want to hear that, so I'm going to still complain. That's my shtick." So I'm on vacation, Obi, and two things I observed. One's more of a complaint, and actually they're both complaints, but one's like a kind of backhanded complaint. So let's go with the first one.
And you are the only person I know who can give a backhanded complaint. I mean, that is a brand new thing, and you are definitely the king of that. So let's hear your backhanded complaint.
So here's my backhanded complaint. Bathing suits have gotten smaller and smaller on women. Like I remember there used to be a thing like banning thongs. Now it appears as though they're encouraged. Like there's no such thing as a full bottom on a woman anymore. I mean, there's a full bottom on the woman, but not a full bottom on the bathing suit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Right. So that's my backhanded complaint. I'm complaining that there's skimpy bathing suits out there, but I'm really not complaining. The real complaint is that stuff wasn't around like 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, where was it when I was young?
When you were young, it was at the beaches you weren't allowed to go to.
Yeah, but I'm at a normal beach now, so that I don't understand why we couldn't have had this 30 years ago.
Fashions change. I could pull in my wife. She's the fashionista. She could help us out here. But
well, fashions change for sure, but they're changing for the good for young boys today, but not for me. So that's my backhanded complaint. But the other thing that strikes me, and I have facial hair, I have a beard. But what the hell is with the mustache coming back? Do these young kids realize how stupid they're gonna look?
Are you insulting me right fucking now? Because I have a magnificent mustache. People compliment me on my stash all the time.
First of all, your mustache. I was about to say I'm not insulting you, but I'm about to. Your mustache is goofy, man. You got like a 50-year-old mustache, right? What I'm talking about, because you're not even the Tom Selleck. You got you look like you're Abner Doubleday. But what I'm talking about are these young kids walking around looking like they're Tom Selleck. What the hell are they thinking?
I think they think the mustache is cool. I think they think Tom Selleck is cool. I think they're jealous of me, my handlebars on my mustache. I mean, I think you're wrong. I think, and your facial hair, you're 50 years old, and it's sometimes even a little patchy. Like I can't even comprehend your light facial hair. Grow it out like you're supposed to these days.
Bro, mine is grown out. The reason you think it's patchy is because it's white. That's what's patchy. The hair's not patchy. I got a full beard. It's just the coloring is patchy. Some of it's white, most of it's white, and some of it's not. So it looks first of all, we got to get better zoom quality. That's the problem. It's a full ass beard. It's just white and brown and salt and pepper. Anyway,
listen, I think the real reason is that it's so easy now to get men's grooming products. Listen, you got the eye stuff. I got for my stash. I now know, like, I can get mustache oil and mustache wax at like the grocery store. That stuff wasn't sold in the grocery store. Now I don't know if it's because the kids are all wearing facial hair or because it's become easy to get that even people who don't, spend a lot of time grooming can get the stuff to manage it. But it's definitely related.
I don't know. I think in 15, 20 years, there's going to be a lot of men really embarrassed about what they looked like earlier with those goofy mustaches. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about facial hair as opposed to tattoos, right? You change it, you're done. Boom, 10 minutes,
Oh, and
whole
by the
new.
way, we talked about this before. But you're right. It's abnormal when you see somebody, and even women these days, it's abnormal if you see someone that doesn't have tattoos
Right.
at the beach. Everyone has
Yeah, yeah. They're almost it's like almost the counterculture thing to do is like, hey, it's my own skin. I live in it. I'm comfortable.
them. Yeah, so that's correct. But I'm not complaining about that. It's just an interesting observation. But Obi, you told me you have a bunch of things to talk about. So, of
Well,
course, I always start off because you kick it to me. But let's go back to you. Let's
well,
talk about you.
let's continue with your vacation because I got questions about your vacation. Because here's what I noticed about your vacation: you didn't hang out with just your parents and just your immediate family. It was your core family and your parents and Stumpin's best. Like your friends were down and involved in your family vacation.
Yo, that's how I roll, man. That's what we do. That's what the Jersey Shore is about. If you
Now,
go to school, if you went to school in Jersey, you have Jersey friends. And you say, look, I'm going to the shore. And well, one of them lives down there. Another
right,
one ran out of town. Another one lives in the town that I was vacationing in, and he took off. He's like, oh, I guess I'm going on vacation.
the doctor.
The doctor. So
Okay.
he left. But one lives, 30 minutes away. So he comes down a couple times to hang out. And then the other one, because we were roommates, he's like, cool, we're gonna come down for 3 nights. So he stayed for 3 nights. So I had we had two dinners. Well, we had a dinner and we had like a day at the bay. We had an awesome house on the bay and we just hung out. Yeah, you're right. And my parents were there. Yeah, we do it right when we do
Yeah.
the Jersey
No,
Shore.
I gotta say, I was kind of impressed. I'm like, it's not just Ed's family, it's Ed's family and his closest friends. Just hanging out down the beach, going out to dinner. Obviously you've known them long, at least 2 years longer than you've known me, and you didn't have a gap in friendship with them. They were there the whole way. So they know your parents well. It was just fun to watch. I'm like, that's Ed's family's vacation. And more, and more.
You I know what's really funny is that every time those guys hang out with my parents, my mother, who listens to the podcast, she'll probably never tell this again, but I'm gonna say it. She brings up every time she brings up her favorite story about my one fraternity brother Dave. Uh, if you remember the fraternity house, and we talked about it on this podcast, it was a shithole, right? We all know that,
That's being
and
nice. That's being nice.
it was a shithole, and it was not a place for moms
Nope.
or really dads, but you definitely
Or
didn't want your mom in the fraternity house.
barely younger siblings were
Yeah,
were
right,
safe
right.
there.
Well, because if you had younger siblings, somebody might pee on their clothes in the middle of the night. But anyway, so she tells this story all the time. The first time she ever met Dave, I was his roommate along with Spaz, and we went out. My parents came down, and we. I don't know if these kids do it today because I've never taken any of my daughter's friends out to dinner. But back in the day, when my parents would come to take me out to dinner, they'd always say, "Let's take your roommates out too." It was never like leave your roommates alone. My roommates always came out to dinner with me. So we were at dinner, and my mother goes, "I don't know if I should go to the bathroom before we leave, or maybe I'll just go back in the house." And Dave looked her right in the eye and goes, "I think you need to go here, Mrs. Phillip." And my mother tells that story to this. She goes, "I'll never forget. You told me. I think you need to go here, Mrs. Phillip."
And he was right.
Oh
He was
yeah.
right. He was
Oh
right.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna
Do you have
backtrack off this
questions?
a little bit.
Do you have
On this.
questions, or are there any
No,
questions?
I
Okay.
do, but I'm gonna just say that in terms of the roommate thing, with my son, he had every year was different roommates, but there was one roommate he was really close with, and we did go out to lunch with him. So we'd like, you want to bring your roommates? And there was only ever one that he did. So we did meet the one roommate who he's still friendly with, and well, that's a lie. There was the one roommate, and then there was the roommate who he went to high school with the kid, and then they roomed together one year. So obviously we took him out.
I think one of the things it might be more that my experience was atypical. Maybe again, 30 years ago, I met a guy. No, wait, no, 34 years ago. Holy shit, we're 2024. So 34 years ago, I met Spaz as a freshman. I lived with him for 4 years, and then I met 32 years ago. I met Stump. I lived with him for 1 year. but I've been lifelong friends with those guys. So maybe that's an anomaly. Maybe that's not normally what happens.
Well, I think your long friendship with them, I think those friendships are few and far between. I have friends who do have some of those. I see on Facebook some people are still super close when they met in high school or college, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people really hold those. But I think the friends going out with the parents, you know what? A few of the guys from the house went up to my lake house with me. So they met my parents. But going out to dinner when my parents came was not something I ever invited any friends with at school.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like I said, my daughter, I'd go down, like, and my daughter's like jumping in the car all by herself. She was ready to get the hell away from her roommates.
She's like, I've had enough of those. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So we covered the roommates. That's what the roommates turned into lifelong friends who are now going on the family beach vacation in every year. And I love that every time we get together with Dave, there's the one story that we have to tell, part of the family vacation, because that's also always a classic with every group of people who get together. It's always like that one person who's that, like, we see each other every 6 months, and there's that one person who tells that one story every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I probably do the same thing, just nobody's clued me in on what I say all the time.
oh yeah, I'm sure. And we, put that in the comments. We want to know which story Ed repeats. Probably the story about the guy who peed on his car when he came up.
I don't never talk about that story. Only on this podcast.
Okay, so that's what I had for you question-wise. I had a momentous day today, Ed.
Today, not like yesterday, but today.
Not yes, the whole weekend kind of, but today was the day. Today,
oh shit!
I woke up.
You got it. Did you get a new sword?
No, not that. It's not that good. It's good, but not that good.
Okay. Oh, I was getting too excited. Okay.
I woke up 6:30 this morning, like I normally do. Took my shower, but instead of getting dressed in my pajamas to work from home, I got dressed to drive the car. Put my son in the car. Took him to the train station. See ya. First day of work, he's not coming home. He's going to his apartment after work today. That's right. One down, 1, 2, go, Ed. He's out. On his way.
You just better hope that wasn't like a boomerang train. The boomerang train goes away and comes back.
Listen, I am hoping more for him than I am for me. Like, listen.
Yeah, obviously. I think that's a good dad. That's the right thing to say in public.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the right thing to say in public. Once we stop recording, I'll ask you the truth. So this weekend, I'm assuming you moved him into the new place?
So this is his situation. He is literally couch surfing right now.
Yeah.
He's got a guy, he's like living in the dude's closet. He bought a bed, so it's more than couch surfing. Friday, he drove up to the guy's apartment, or his house, his new house. I shouldn't even call it the guy's apartment. Dropped off all his clothes, all the stuff he didn't need for work today. Came home, so I didn't even have to move him in. And then today, like I said, drove him to the train station, drove him to work, and yeah, so he moved himself in.
So these kids today, so I assume he's not in New York City, but you hear these I knew he's working in New York City, so you hear these horror stories of all these small apartments that kids are living in. Now you just said that he's living in a guy's closet.
That's how he has described it.
Is that hyperbole, or is he literally in the dude's closet?
So I think that it's probably a large pantry in the that he is room for a bed in there. So he's got a bed and room for a couple of bins of clothing. I don't think he's got hangers, so I don't know how he's going to manage that. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment, and there's 3 people who live there.
So he's in like a walk-in closet, basically.
Yeah.
So he's got a twin bed that fits in there, I'm assuming. Not a queen or a full twin bed.
Twin bed. A fold-up cot, actually.
So he's got a fold-up cot. Well, that way he can stand. He can fold it up and stand and get dressed, I guess. So
yeah.
And then
I don't think it's like one of those ones you want to fold and unfold all the time, but it is a fold. Yeah.
So it's a cot, and then he doesn't have a dresser. He just got a couple boxes with
bins
clothes in them. Couple bins with clothes in them.
Yeah.
And does he have a TV? Or I guess kids don't need TVs anymore. They watch everything on their phone, right?
Phone, Switch, yeah. I'm sure the living room has the PlayStation and whatnot. So, and this is a temporary solution. So he has some roommates lined up. They're gonna get a house together, they think, and that's in January. There's some issues with whether that's going to work out or not due to where that's going to be, and if he's already like picking, he's saving up for his down payment and whatnot, so he can move into a actual 2-bedroom apartment if the house with the other group doesn't work out.
Well, I can't wait for the podcast episode when you tell me another monumental day your son came out of the closet.
He would have done that already if that was the case.
No, I mean literally, like he doesn't live in the closet anymore. That's the great thing about that line.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it fell flat, Ed. Falls flat.
No, it didn't. It only fell flat. Everyone's laughing right now that's listening, except your sound effects suck.
We can get into the fact that you had a mic that was supposed to have sound effects. You could have had
the. I do. Hold on a second. There we go.
Nope.
Shit.
Nope. Well, your sound effects are worse than mine.
Good thing I'm not in charge of the sound effects.
But yeah, so yeah, we've got one down.
Well, and then in only a matter of weeks, the other one, well, he's living at home, right?
When he's living at home, going to community college. So I got another, this time next year, we'll have another celebratory day.
I hope so for you. I was having a conversation with my younger daughter today about how, because she was making me drive her to get lunch as in between my meetings today. First day back from vacation is like the worst day. Right?
Oh my, yeah.
The day before vacation is the second worst day of work, and the day after vacation is the worst day of work. And so my calendar just got all jammed up today, and I had like literally a half hour to breathe. And in that half hour, my daughter's like, "What are we eating?" I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" So as we were driving to get her food, I said to her, just think, because she starts school next week. I said, just think, I only have another week of having to worry about giving you lunch. And she looks at me, she looks at me with like disappointment in her eyes and goes, but you enjoy this. I go, the hell I do. I said, I do not enjoy having to get you lunch. I don't even enjoy having to get myself lunch every day, but then have to think about somebody else to feed. That's hard work. I don't want to do that crap.
Listen, she's lucky she didn't get a toasted bagel open faced with butter. Like that's what she should have gotten.
Went to Wawa last week, and I had myself a breakfast bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese, and of course I ate it sandwich style.
Yeah. Hey, you were in Jersey. You didn't go pork roll, egg, and cheese.
No. I'm not I would have, I tell you one thing, I wouldn't go Taylor ham and cheese though, because I just think calling it Taylor ham is the dumbest thing ever.
But it is Taylor ham.
No, it's not. It's the brand name.
Yeah, well, when you're in North Jersey, they don't sell any other brand.
That's not true. That's like saying I only use Kleenex to blow my nose. That's obviously not true. You can get another brand.
And what about those things you do when you have a little boo-boo? Do you call them something other than Band-Aids?
It's different. It's not food, you ass.
A Kleenex isn't food either, idiot. Dude, you blow your nose and you eat that?
You know what? I don't
pick my nose and eat it. I blow my nose and eat my Kleenex. Is that your argument?
I can tell with your little Band-Aid argument there that you've been in this pork roll Taylor ham argument many times, and your go-to is the Band-Aid.
I actually haven't because I do use both. Very, I literally look at the menu and see what they call it, and that's what I order. If I'm at a place that says pork roll, I say pork roll.
You're like a chameleon. I am a sandwich chameleon.
I am a pork roll Taylor ham sandwich chameleon. I think because I grew up in the North Jersey, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. It wasn't my go-to, and so like I heard Taylor ham, and then boom, got to where we went to school in the Central Jersey, and there was both. Like, that's when I realized there was actually a different name. And so I just immediately said, this is something I can make peace with. Whatever they say, I'll order it from them that way. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, since you're so such a chameleon. You really want to blend in with your settings and don't want to stand out. Because I'm taking it you don't want to offend the waitress when you order tail or ham and it's really pork roll and she's gonna be pissed. So,
No, I don't want to deal with the kind of idiot who's like, when you order a Coke, they go, well, we only have Pepsi. Like,
well, that's where I was going with this. Do you look at the menu to see that they only serve
No,
Pepsi products and
no.
make sure you order a Pepsi?
No, I order when I used to drink soda, it was always Diet Coke. Right? That's what I would say. And if you said we only have Pepsi, I'd give them the look like,
Isn't that always funny how isn't that like it's almost part of the training? When you order a Coke, they always have to say, we have Pepsi, is that okay?
yeah.
Like, well, why the hell? Oh no, in that case, give me water.
Fuck you.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. In that case.
I only take Barks root beer. You have mud. You know, it's except for the root beer flavor that's listed.
It's always fascinated me how quick the waiters are or waitresses are always like, oh, we only have Coke. I don't care. I ordered a cola. Give me RC cola, goddammit. It's gonna be cheap.
Hey, Penguin Cola.
Penguin Cola, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't give a crap. No, pork roll is one where it does. I've chameleoned.
Okay.
And it is usually menu based because I don't get, you know what? It's not my number one breakfast choice. So it would have to be, I read it on the menu and said, ooh, I think I want that today. And so then, because that's how it's written on that menu, that's how I ordered it.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with you. Here's another thing I noticed, particularly down the shore, and this better not become a trend in the rest of this country. I noticed restaurants charging a 3% transaction fee if you use a credit card to pay your dinner bill. I also noticed more than my fair share of restaurants that only take cash.
So they either only take cash or they were charging you 3% for the card.
Not either or. There were like a couple restaurants we went to that didn't charge a fee, like they were normal restaurants. But what I noticed was 2 times we got charged a 3% transaction fee for using a credit card. And then there was this other place that served burgers and it was right off a block off the beach. So we went there for lunch like every day just because it was right off the beach. And they were quick to always remind us, we don't take cards, only cash. There's an ATM in our lobby. And then, so you wonder, are they trying to save the 3% or are they skimming the books? I'm not really sure. It could be both. But this idea of passing the 3% on to the cardholder, bullshit. It's cost of doing business. And I'm offended. I'm personally offended, Obi. And I will not go to a restaurant if they start doing that.
So I have noticed an uptick in that as well, not just down by the shore. I have noticed it as well, that they're doing that. And they used to do it with gas. Remember, there was a period of time when the gas was different card or cash, and then they kind of said, we're gonna.
And then it stopped, and then COVID hit, and the prices, and then it changed, right?
Yeah.
So, or actually, it was right before COVID, I guess, when prices were high before that, and now it's back. And then it's a big deal to find a gas station. But that's this, kind of in the way that gas used to always be like that. So the fact that it's back to that, I'm not upset. But restaurants, come on. Give me a discount. Here's the other thing. If you're a smart marketer, you would give me a discount for paying cash. You wouldn't charge me more for paying with a credit card.
Right. You'd be like, oh, you're paying cash, 3% discount.
Correct.
Yeah.
Instead, because here's the thing, nobody carries cash anymore. So why are you making me feel like the bad guy because I'm got a credit card? That's what everybody has. So make me feel like a good guy because I actually showed up with cash. Right? I think it's a marketing thing that they're doing it wrong.
Or hear me out. Go like Europe and get when you're in Europe, they come to your table. I don't know if you and you put your card in, and then you can do your PIN. They don't get the charge when it does the PIN, so just do the hand. Give every waitress or have a handheld one when the waiter or waitress comes to your table, and then you're like, oh well, now it's because it's not just your credit card. A lot of times it looks like a credit card, but it's right directly. It's not a credit card. I'm not the one who chose to use the credit card line. I'm the one who wants to use a piece of plastic.
Yeah, I guess that's a little better, but I'm not a big fan of that. I want my points for my credit
card. Well,
I mean,
okay, hotshot. You want your points? Then
I want my points.
You gotta pay 3%.
Nah, screw that. cash discount. Don't
it
charge
breaks
me
even.
anymore.
You know, you get your 3% cash
By the
back.
way, it should just factor it in there. Charge me 3% more for the steak I'm eating. Don't give me another 3% on that. I just
Right, just charge everybody. I mean, because that's the thing.
And I hate restaurants that charge for splitting checks and shit like that.
Oh.
Come on, just do it. It's part like the greatest thing that happened in this country. The greatest thing that happened in this country is when they started just accepting multiple credit cards to pay a bill.
I know. When you
at the restaurant.
Yes.
The greatest thing that ever happened. You're out with 3 couples, the bill comes, you don't have to do any math. You just take 3 credit cards, throw them there, they come back, and you all go, what's the tip? You all give the same tip. It all works out. It's the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, I agree. That is marvelous. Now, so I did go out with a lot of people the other day. 14 people we went out with. So that was a little difficult because it was $10. It was an ice cream parlor, for goodness sake. It was $10 each. So it wasn't like, oh my, it was like,
that's a Venmo. That's what Venmo was made
that
for,
is
though.
right. That's where I was getting to. So the one guy drops the 140 on his card. It's like just $10 per person or Venmo, Venmo or cash me. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what Venmo's made for. And by the way, I'd be the guy putting the card down.
Because you want your points.
I want my points and you Venmo me. I'm good with that.
Yeah. And I'd be the guy who Venmos because it's coming out of my checking account. I ain't worried about chasing no points.
Exactly. See, beautiful. See, we can hang out. We could get ice cream together.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm taking you to the shore with my parents, but I can get ice cream with you.
That's okay. Oh, yeah. Because my wife was like, wait a second. What do you mean you're going to talk to him about going on vacation? Who are these other people? And I'm like, oh, honey. He's known them long. He's known them longer than he's known me. And then I had to tell. Now my wife knows Becky, so I had to tell. Oh, Bill was dated with like the whole 9 yards. I'm like, but when I tell her, like, I'm like, he's known them forever and he never stopped talking. I'm like, I'm sure that his parents has met them many times. But now I'm going to throw in, and when he used to go out to lunch and dinner with his parents and they said, bring some friends, these are 2 that came along. Then because she was the big one on that. She was like, always like, if any of your roommates want to come, any of your roommates want to, even after it was like the one apartment where he lived in where he didn't like either of the roommates, she was still like, either of them want to come, either of them need dinner. That's who she is.
That's who I am too. I'm like, I don't understand why we're not taking the whole goddamn dorm out. Let's go.
And he'd be like, no, they do not need, no, they do not need to come. No.
And my kids are the same way. My younger one might be like, I got 14 friends I want to bring to dinner when you come down.
I am, so we are, I have the rule of 3, but when it comes to family vacations, but we're planning a large family vacation with extended family. So youngest does not want to go necessarily to cruise. He does not necessarily want to go. Because he kind of believes in the rule of 3 himself. Like he's a big proponent. He's like, that's a good rule Dad has. But the wife, he's like, no, he should come. It's my family. He should, these are the people he's going to be going to weddings, all their weddings in the near future, and all these things. If you get invited, he should know these people better. He should come. So there may be a friend of his who comes on the vacation with us
to stay in his cabin with him.
To stay in his cabin with him. They're going to do 3 cabins, him and three in the cabin with his brother and this kid.
I think that is the perfect way to do a family vacation, but still keep your rule of 3. And I'll tell you why. On a cruise ship, you get separate cabins. So you're not in everybody's business while you're living there. And you can actually do whatever the hell you want on the ship, even though people think it's small. You could actually go and not see the people the whole time you're there.
The only time that's what we told them. That's what we told them to begin with. Like, even like, listen, the only time you'll see us is if we choose to go to the sit-down dinner on the same day. Like, you don't even have to go to the sit-down dinner with us, right? Even if you do, you say, yeah, we're going to go to the sit-down dinner. But he wasn't for it. But yeah, he's going to bring his buddy, and we'll see how that works. We have to cough up an extra body, but 3 people in your room. Good luck with that. I don't
know. Will you pay for his buddy? Is that you're basically bribing your kid to go on vacation?
No, we will. What we told his So we told the kids we're buying them the cheapest room, right?
Yeah,
If they
of
want to
course.
upgrade, that's on them.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're telling his mother she has to pay for the room. But anything we are going to pay for our kids, excursions, a couple $100 for just but for trinkets on excursions, like anything that we will pay for our kids, we'll pay for her son as well. We'll treat him like he's one of our own.
Okay.
Which we will. We know the kid well enough.
So that's good. So here's the $1 million question for you, Obi.
Yeah.
On those cruise ships, you can if the kid is 18, they can drink beer and wine with parents' permission. But the parents have to sign for it.
Oh, so, see, I the one I read said that was not going to be in it, that they did not allow. So whatever ship we're going on, they may not allow that.
Where are you going? Like in Europe or something like that?
No, Europe. You came into Bahamas. Europe, there's no way they would care in the.
Wait, are you going on Disney cruise?
No.
What company?
I don't think it's. I think it's the other one, but that's not like it's Carnival. What's the other one that it's like
Royal Caribbean?
It's one of those two.
And Norwegian.
It's not Norwegian. It's Carnival.
Norwegian lets kids drink at 18 if the parents sign for them.
Okay, no, we're not going on the classic Norwegian.
Because then you'd have the classic example of you signed for your son, but then his buddy can't drink because his parents aren't there. That's a problem.
Then I wouldn't. We'll see where he is next year, but at this point, that wouldn't be an issue. He wouldn't want the signature.
All right. Well, it doesn't even matter because your oldest son can get the drinks for them anyway.
Be 24 years old.
Yeah.
No, it's only 23. Yeah, but yeah, he's fine. But what he's really excited about is going to the casino with.
Yeah, you only have to be 18 for that.
Yeah. So we're gonna see if this kid can play poker. All his yabbering about he can play poker. We'll see. I'll watch him at the table. That $100, $120 goes like that.
That's the crazy thing. This kid can go crazy in the casino, but you need to sign for him to be able to have a beer.
Right. Well, it's good. Actually, I'm not going to sign to give him the advantage he needs in the casino, being the only sober one.
Yeah. Well, he could still lose all his money.
All his money.
And that would suck, Obi.
For him.
Yeah. Well, it would suck for you too.
Why? Could they put it on the room?
I do believe you can charge to your room. Yeah, you certainly can take a cash advance to your room in the casino. You think they want to make it hard to lose money? They want to make it easy.
No, they don't.
Matter of fact, if you go to the slot machines, you can put your room key into the machine.
Oh my God. Okay, he can't go to the casino.
To charge it up. Like, you put it in there and it says how much. You go $25, $50, $100. Boom, charges it right to your room.
Well, room will be in his name, so let him try to get off the boat.
I guess the rule of 3 coming home will be in effect, but maybe not. But maybe not during the week.
Somebody's just gotten a job as a janitor on a cruise ship. Congratulations.
Yeah, 9-month contract. See you later.
Working for the company store.
Yep. No, maybe they'll make him a slot attendant so he can teach other 18-year-olds what not to do.
Right. He has to give those speeches. Well, that would suck. The charm is that we suck. I'm Obi. That's Ed. Thanks for listening. See you in a couple of weeks.